And we are ready to go back to the general debate concerning the report of the evaluation body under item 11. I will now open the floor for the general debate for committee members. The floor is yours, committee members. Are there anyone who wishes to take the floor? No committee member wishes to take the floor? I see Senegal. Senegal, please.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Le Sénégal souhaite exprimer ses vives félicitations à l'organe d'évaluation pour le travail qui a été abattu et les résultats auxquels nous avons abouti durant ces 2 jours. Je pense que dès le début, les enjeux liés à la sauvegarde du patrimoine avaient été déjà évoqués par le rapporteur au niveau de son propos liminaire. Et c'est des enjeux qui nous interpellent. Ils en ont fait suffisamment cas et cela a éclairé certainement leur décision. Et parmi ces enjeux, bien sûr, ce matin, on a déjà repris un élément lié au transfert et à l'élection d'un élément d'une liste à une autre. Ce n'est pas le seul enjeu. Il y a également l'enjeu de l'implication des universités. Il y a l'enjeu qui a été évoqué également sur les questions de développement. L'un dans l'autre, les approches méthodologiques qui ont été utilisées, notamment le choix de la double option, me paraît peut-être la chose la plus importante à relever, ce qui nous a permis, au niveau du comité, de travailler beaucoup plus facilement. Je pense que tous les États parties qui ont été concernés par cette option de double option s'en ont félicité et avec eux, nous remercions effectivement l'organe. Et ce qui m'amène simplement à dire qu'il faut continuer dans cette lancée et ouvrir des procédures de communication avec les États soumissionnaires. Les mécanismes de communication doivent être renforcés. Cette double option, c'est bien, mais il faut aller plus loin pour avoir des mécanismes de communication avec les États soumissionnaires. Pas répéter ce qui se passe dans les autres conventions, mais si ce qui se passe dans les autres conventions, comme la 72, est bien, pourquoi ne pas essayer de voir comment on peut adapter des choses proches ou similaires, en tout cas dans l'esprit. Parce qu'au niveau quand même de la 72, il y a les rapports intérimaires entre les évaluations et il y a également la rencontre même des États parties si c'est nécessaire. Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Senegal. I see Zambia. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I would also want to join my colleague from Senegal to congratulate the evaluation board for the wonderful job that they've done. And for now, I just wanted to make one comment on the paragraph 10. I don't know if we can go there. Paragraph 10.
We're still not yet at the decision. We're on the general debate. If you have any general comments to make, you please proceed.
Okay, then maybe I can skip that and wait for the time when we'll go to the decision.
Okay,
thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Hungary would like to take the floor? Yes, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Indeed, this is an item that has been opened, that was opened, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. Sometimes it's difficult to follow the date. Sorry. I would just like to recall that we made an intervention when the item was opened and when we listened to the oral report of the evaluation body. We very much appreciate their work. Let me also recall that we elected the members of the evaluation body. I mean, this committee elected the members of the body. The committee established the rules and the criteria on which this consultative body works and makes recommendations. And therefore, we we should demonstrate respect towards the expertise and diligent work of the evaluation body as we did so in the current committee session during our deliberations on the nominations to the respective lists. And I would like to note that this committee session has changed a little bit its attitude towards that of the last year, and we welcome this change of abiding more closely by the evaluation body recommendations than the committee did last year. The point which we raised also in the beginning of this debate was about the shared heritage, and we would like to make some amendments. We have actually worked together with delegations over the past few days, and Hungary, together with many other countries, has submitted a draft amendment to the decision, which I think we will come to very soon. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Hungary. I recognize Austria. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now, we've already made our comments on the overall report of the body when the item was opened, but of course we wish to congratulate the evaluation body again on its work for the convention. We would like to make some general comments on our working methods. So, the representative list, as we've heard several times already during this meeting, shall raise the visibility of ICH, create awareness of its importance, and encourage dialogue. Now, this list is not a competition as the World Heritage List might appear at times, but it should have an inclusive approach. And we feel that in the present situation, we are sometimes forced into the roles of judges and defendants for the evaluation of files, which creates discomfort and is not the objective of the convention. So for this reason, we think that the future role of the evaluation body might be more in the direction of assisting state parties in submitting files rather than judging. And then this item on our agenda can become a celebration of intangible cultural heritage expressions, which encapsulates the spirit of the convention. But nonetheless, the evaluation body, with its expert experience, should be involved in future and the further discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Austria. I see Algeria asking for the floor.
Rapidement, Madame la Présidente, nous aussi, à notre tour, nous souhaitions mettre l'emphase sur le fait que cette convention est surtout une convention pour la sauvegarde et nous souhaiterions que cela soit reflété dans nos discussions futures. Il est clair que nous avons un organe d'évaluation et que nous lui avons donné mandat pour évaluer les dossiers présentés à la liste représentative et aux autres listes, mais comme l'ont signalé beaucoup de délégations, effectivement, il faut penser à faire aussi de la capacity building, du renforcement des compétences et d'assister les États soumissionnaires qui ne le peuvent pas ou qui n'ont pas les moyens à faire part de leurs expériences et les aider à travers la préparation non seulement des dossiers, mais aussi la sauvegarde de leur patrimoine. On parle souvent de la liste représentative, mais on oublie aussi la liste des meilleures pratiques qui, à notre sens, au fil des années, est en train de se transformer en liste des meilleures pratiques des pays qui en ont les moyens, car il s'agit beaucoup de moyens et on oublie que d'autres pays ont de très bonnes pratiques mais qui n'arrivent pas à les mettre en valeur faute de moyens. Donc il ne faut pas que cela passe à une convention à deux vitesses avec une liste de représentatifs et une liste pour les pauvres et une autre pour les riches, où on dirait que certains ont le moyen de présenter des meilleures pratiques et de mettre beaucoup de moyens dans ces meilleures pratiques et d'autres qui ne l'ont pas. Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Algeria. I recognize Philippines. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. We'd like to congratulate you on the efficient way you're managing our discussions this morning. And just a few general comments on the files that we've looked at under this item. Firstly, regarding the element about synergies, when we discussed that under the Mongolian file, our delegation is presenting an amendment to the draft decision about this, as was agreed earlier. And then regarding the discussion under the UAE element that was inscribed, we just wish to note that in the operational directives, there's no clear definition of what precisely an element is, and we would just like to note that perhaps the committee would like to reflect on this for the future, to have more precision and to avoid, having discussions on what is the scope of an element, or if, what we're talking about is in a different file or a similar practice in a different region. So we note that the committee has had discussions on this, and perhaps it would be good to reflect and to review and revisit some of the discussions made. However, we don't have a precise amendment or anything to the decision on this point. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Philippines. I think the Secretariat noted your remarks. So I see no committee members. Are there any Turkey would like to take the floor? Sorry, Turkey, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As a matter of fact, we have already shared our comments with the evaluation body 2 days ago. We just want to remind you that we will have some amendment proposals regarding the evaluation body's observations for some of the elements that are shared by different communities, and importance of multinational files and so on. It will be regarding Para 8. We will come back to that at a later stage, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, Turkey. Côte d'Ivoire, you wanted to take the floor? Please.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. La Côte d'Ivoire fait sienne les félicitations adressées à l'organe d'évaluation quant à la qualité du travail abattu. Nous saluons également l'initiative de la double option qui a permis de faciliter les travaux du comité. Et également, nous en appelons également aux États parties soumissionnaires des candidatures d'apporter les informations nécessaires. Et cela renvoie un peu à l'option, aux initiatives, aux réflexions que nous avons déjà engagées, peut-être que nous allons discuter tout à l'heure, quant à l'instauration du dialogue entre l'organe d'évaluation et les États membres, pour éviter qu'il y ait certaines contradictions ou certaines difficultés quant à l'examen de certaines candidatures qui sont portées à l'attention du comité, afin d'éviter que nous soyons mal à l'aise quant au traitement de certains dossiers. Merci.
Thank you very much, Côte d'Ivoire. I see St. Lucia asking for the floor. Please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Let me add my voice to the voices of the rest of my colleagues and congratulating the evaluation body for a job well done, and to note the development in our attitude towards the work of the evaluation body, very, very positive and progressive, and to encourage that. Just permit me for another reflective note on our work in this area of intangible cultural heritage. I mean, last year we were faced with some issues in relation to the place of politics in this, and this year again there was an issue that flared up, and just to share that it strengthens my conviction and confidence that this area of our work has a lot to teach to the other areas of work in the UN and in the United Nations. This area of intangible cultural heritage can contribute so much in terms of how we approach it. We at the leadership level in our street parties, in terms of how we approach it, we can very much, we have a tool to contribute very much towards healing and cooperation and peace
among nations in terms of how we approach it, and then the encouragement of cooperation, especially among regional parties, areas that share the elements and so on, cooperation, in terms of how we approach the submission of elements, we can actually put in place strategies that foster healing and cooperation and peace among nations. This is just my reflection on some of what happened this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, St. Lucia. I see no other committee members asking for the floor. I wonder if there are any observers that wish to take the floor before we move to the draft decision. I see Finland. You have the floor, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Finland would like to thank the host country and the Secretariat and the committee during the week on the good work. We would also like to support the idea presented by Austria to discuss the future role of the evaluation body more in assisting inscriptions. The evaluation body could give observations and recommendations to the state parties, and maybe this way we could enhance the development of the convention. Thank you.
Thank you, Finland. I see Egypt asking for the floor. You have the floor.
شكرا سيدتي الرئيسة. أود في البداية أن أعبر عن تهنئتي لكم لإدارتكم لهذه الجلسة، وأن أحيي الدولة المستضيفة للاجتماعات. إن وفد بلادي يود التأكيد على نقطتين من واقع المناقشات التي تبعناها. النقطة الأولى خاصة بآلية الخيارين، فنحن نشيد بها، فقد سهلت بالفعل أعمال اللجنة وأتاحت المجال للعديد من الدول لتسجيل تراثها غير المادي. والنقطة الثانية متعلقة بأهمية بناء قدرات خاصة للدول النامية، وكما ذكر زميلي من الوفد الجزائري فلا يجب أن يكون هناك قائمتين للدول الغنية والدول الفقيرة. شكرا سيدتي الرئيس.
Thank you very much, Egypt. I recognize Indonesia asking for the floor. Thank you. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. A delegation of Indonesia would like to appreciate the excellent work which has been done by the evaluating body and also by the Secretariat and also by the members of the committee in processing the nomination files for the two lists and also the good practices. We believe that the system as it is running now is much improved, and it is satisfying to the states parties who have presented their nominations. At the same time, continuing to guarantee credibility. So once again, this is our appreciation, and we hope that in the future this will go on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Indonesia. Do we have any other observers asking for the floor? We cannot see from... yeah, we have... It's an NGO? Yes. You have the floor, ma'am. If you can introduce yourself first.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for giving us the floor on behalf of the ICH NGO Forum. The ICH NGO Forum acknowledges the hard work of the experts and the NGOs in the evaluation body and welcomes the newly implemented measures such as the dual option and the changes in the layout of the form. However, regarding the inscriptions on the convention list of the Forum has observed at this session that the recommendations made by the evaluation body are once again almost systematically overruled by the committee. While respecting the committee's decisions, the ICH NGO Forum expresses a clear concern for a development that might weaken the credibility of the Convention, as well as the very relevance of the evaluation body. This affects, among other, the potential valuable advisory contributions NGOs can offer in the Convention. In line with the current debates and decisions reflected in the sessions of 11COM and 12COM, the advisory process of the evaluation body could eventually evolve from a judging role towards a more assisting one. Indeed, this ICH Convention is not a competition. Its objectives and beauty reflect an including approach. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. I don't see any other observer asking for the floor. I believe we have exhausted our debate and can therefore move to the examination of the draft decision. Can we see the decision on the screen, please? The proposed draft decision, 12COM11, is the result of the observations of the evaluation body. It addresses a number of issues that have been discussed over the past 3 days when we debated each case individually and the general debate we just had on all mechanisms. It includes a number of important reminders, in particular for submitting states. It also raises important issues that the evaluation body and the committee have encountered in the examination of files within the 2017 cycle and that we may wish to highlight. Dear members of the committee, are there general considerations that you do not see reflected in the draft decision proposed, but you think should be included? I see Palestine, but first let me just inform the committee that we have received 3 amendments to the Secretariat with regard to the draft decision under consideration. Palestine, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Very quickly, I was just about to ask you if it is possible to proceed paragraph by paragraph. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, let's go paragraph by paragraph. Okay, let's go para by para. Paragraph 1, recalling the operational directives. Is there any objection from the committee? I see no, so it is therefore adopted. Para 2, citing the documents we have examined. Any objection to that? I see none. It is adopted. Para 3, which expressed satisfaction with the work of the evaluation body. I don't see any objection, I believe. So it is adopted. Para 4, which takes note of the observations made during the course of the 2017 cycle. Any objection to that? I see none. It is adopted. Para 5, which recalls the previous decisions of the committee. Any objection to that? I see no objection. Para 5 is adopted. Paragraph 6, which appreciates the benefits brought by the referral option. Any objection to paragraph 6? I see none. It is adopted. Para 7, which takes note of the dual system that has been proposed by the evaluation body. Any objection to this paragraph? I see none. It is adopted. Para 8 reminds states parties that the convention does not seek to establish a system of ownership. I see Algeria. Algeria, you have the floor.
Merci Madame la Présidente. Nous avons vu que des collègues ont présenté des amendements en paragraphes 9 et 10 et 11, je crois, supplémentaires qui couvrent dans leur totalité le paragraphe 8. Je m'explique, pour nous, le paragraphe 8, tel que libellé, nous semble un peu dépasser nos prérogatives, parce que toute référence à la Convention et le paragraphe 8 tel que libellé fait référence à la Convention, et on a l'impression que nous sommes en train de donner de nouvelles dispositions à la Convention par le négatif. Parce que quand on dit que la Convention n'est pas, donc nous définissons ce qu'elle est. Et cela nous semble au-delà du mandat de ce comité. C'est pour ça que nous souhaitons que ce paragraphe soit biffé dans son ensemble, étant donné que les éléments que prend en charge ce paragraphe ont été pris en charge par les paragraphes suivants qui vont être présentés tantôt. Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente.
Okay, Secretariat wants to make a clarification on this issue, so I give the floor to Mr. Curtis.
Thank you. I just want to inform the genesis of the paragraph, which comes about in relation to discussions the evaluation body had in terms of claims included within the nomination files themselves, rather than to other operational directives or statutory decisions. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification, Mr. Curtis. I see Cyprus asking for the floor. You have the floor, ma'am.
Merci Madame la Présidente. Je voulais me rajouter aussi sur le nouveau paragraphe 9, que je suis tout à fait d'accord. Et je voulais faire un petit rajout par contre, peut-être que je ne sais pas comment le formuler, mais j'aurais bien voulu marquer et encourage davantage des États partis à soumettre des candidatures multinationales et peut-être écrire aussi et intégrer les inscriptions multinationales.
Sorry, we're still in paragraph 8. Can we come to your amendments when we consider paragraph 9 and the new amendment made by colleagues? Thank you. I see Colombia asking for the floor. Colombia, please.
Well, it was for the paragraph number 9, so we will wait.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have Algerian proposal to delete paragraph 8 because of the amendments that we're going to consider in 9 and 10. Am I correct? Okay. No. Palestine would like to take the floor. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, actually, I don't know if it is really the moment, because it is also about paragraph 8, or let's say a new 8. Can I read it with consultation with different delegations? The amendment that I will submit right now is co-sponsored by different delegations. Can I proceed or shall I wait?
Let's first delete paragraph 8. If there's no objection to that from the floor, we will proceed with your new para 8 and then consider new 9 and new 10. Are there any objection? I see Hungary. Hungary, you have the floor.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Nous avons écouté attentivement à l'intervention de l'Algérie sur le paragraphe 8. Nous avouons que notre amendement sur ce qui apparaît comme 9, 10 ensuite prend en compte le paragraphe 8. Nous les avons proposés en vue de maintenir le paragraphe 8. Donc nous nous exprimons pour maintenir le paragraphe 8. Nous ne comprenons pas tout à fait la raison linguistique que l'honorable délégué de l'Algérie a suggérée quant aux objectifs de la Convention. Pourquoi dire qu'une chose n'est pas l'objectif de la Convention préjugerait de l'objectif de la Convention? Nous essayons de le comprendre mieux. Peut-être s'il pourrait proposer une autre formulation pour ce début de paragraphe, on pourrait trouver un terrain d'entente. Merci beaucoup, Madame.
Thank you, Hungary. I saw Austria first. If you can have the floor, thank you.
From what Mr. Curtis has explained and the delegation of Hungary has just expressed so eloquently, I think we also would be in favor of keeping para 8, because I think this goes more in the direction of ownership of ownership, and the other one is more on a geographical issue, so I'd rather keep it.
Thank you. So Algeria and Hungary would like to keep para 8. Could Secretariat reflect it on the screen? And I give the floor to Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Like Hungary and Austria, we see value in this formulation, and perhaps if we can adjust it a bit to address the concerns of our distinguished colleague from Algeria, we'd be happy to look into that. But these issues of geographical indication, intellectual property, I think it's important that it be said that this convention doesn't support these kind of exclusivity and exclusive rights issues. So I think based on the files, and also since this is a recommendation from the evaluation body, I think we have to give it due credence. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippines. So we now have Austria, Philippines, and Hungary in favor of not deleting the paragraph. I give the floor to Cuba, followed by Turkey. Cuba, you have the floor.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Le problème, c'est que ce n'est pas la pratique de mettre dans un paragraphe résolutif ou un paragraphe d'un projet de décision des exemples. Et pour moi, ce n'est pas la façon qu'on travaille normalement quand on fait la rédaction d'un projet de résolution. Et je comprends bien l'esprit de ces paragraphes, mais je pense que tout le monde est clair de ce qui est dans la même essence de la Convention. Je ne sais pas, je ne regarde encore les valeurs ajoutées de mettre ces paragraphes ici, surtout pour la façon qui était la rédaction, qui mettrait un exemple, tout comme ça. Je suis pour les supprimer, mais de toute façon, je vais être avec l'esprit de consensus de cette salle. Merci.
Thank you, Cuba. So could Secretariat please reflect it? Algeria and Cuba wants to delete, Hungary, Philippines, and Austria wants to keep the paragraph. And I give the floor to Turkey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Like previous colleagues, Hungary, Philippines, and Austria, we would like to keep the paragraph. We believe this paragraph is very important and it complements the following paragraphs. In fact, we have made our proposals with the understanding that we will keep that paragraph as well because, as I said, they are very much complementing each other. And in particular, when we look in the paragraph and separate it into two different issues. And for us, in particular, the second para, starting with that the inscription of an element on one of the list of the does not imply exclusive ownership of a cultural expression. In particular, for us, that is extremely important. And for some time, we have been observing that there is this misunderstanding of how to interpret the elements, and I think this clarifies and makes it certain that it doesn't imply any exclusive ownership. In that sense, we very much value, in particular, that paragraph, just to emphasize it. Thank you.
Thank you. I give the floor to Zambia, followed by Korea, Colombia, Cyprus, and Algeria. Thank you. And St. Lucia. Zambia, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. We would like to co-sponsor the retention of that paragraph. We think it's a very, very important paragraph because, especially in view of some of the elements that have been inscribed that are found multi-ethnic elements or multinational ethnics, so that the country or ethnic group that actually nominated something won't say no one else should have any access to this element because we have so far had it inscribed in our name. So that's a very, very important paragraph. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Zambia. Korea, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We'd like to echo what has just been said by distinguished representative of Turkey and Hungary, and we believe that the paragraph 8 is it complements paragraph that follows, that's going to follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Korea. Colombia, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We also support that this paragraph should be kept. We think this has been like an important point of misunderstanding during this committee and others, and why not to have it clarified here from now on. We have the memory of this. Thank you.
Well, I think if, except for Algeria, all those colleagues who are asking for the floor, Cyprus. Okay, Cyprus, you have the floor.
Merci Madame la Présidente. Nous souhaitons aussi garder ces paragraphes, mais je voulais simplement faire une petite proposition. Peut-être que ce serait bien de voir les paragraphes qu'on a rajoutés, 9, 10, avant de décider si on les garde ou les supprime. Comme ça, ils verront que peut-être on se répète après. Merci.
I think it's a good proposal, but let's first ask. I think Cuba said that she will be going along with the consensus if there is a general tendency to keep the paragraph. Can we seek Algeria's flexibility again? If
je vous remercie.
Okay, after Algeria, I will give the floor to Hungary. First, Algeria.
Je vous remercie, Madame la Présidente. Alors. Nous ne sommes pas contre l'esprit de ce paragraphe. Au contraire, nous sommes avec les paragraphes qui viennent après, qui développent l'esprit qu'il y a dans ce paragraphe. Toutefois, nous sommes pour un parallélisme des formes. Nous sommes le comité. Nous ne sommes pas l'Assemblée générale et nous ne sommes pas le comité de rédaction de la Convention. Donc, permettez-moi de lire l'article 1er de la Convention, qui dit « but de la Convention ». Donc, dans les buts de la Convention, on a petit a, la sauvegarde du patrimoine culturel immatériel, petit b, le respect du patrimoine culturel immatériel des communautés, des groupes et des individus concernés, petit c, la sensibilisation au niveau local, national et international à l'importance du patrimoine culturel immatériel et son appréciation mutuelle, et petit d, la coopération et l'assistance internationale. Alors ça, c'est les 4 buts de la Convention. Et là, j'ai l'impression que nous sommes en train de rajouter un 5e en définition par le fait qu'on dit ce que n'est pas la Convention. Moi, j'ai appris ça à l'école, quand on veut définir quelque chose, où on dit ce qu'il est ou ce qu'il n'est pas. Et là, nous sommes en train de rajouter une 5e. Donc, toute référence à la Convention dans ce paragraphe-là nous gêne énormément. C'est pour ça que nous avons souhaité le biffer, tout en sachant qu'il est repris quasiment mot pour mot dans le 9 et le 10. On peut voir, si vous le souhaitez, le 9 et le 10 avant le 8, mais pour nous, cela est redondant. Et encore une fois, nous sommes extrêmement flexibles, nous sommes pour le consensus, mais nous ne sommes pas pour une redéfinition de la Convention. Nous sommes le comité. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much, Algeria. Well, I think Secretariat has a clarification that might help if you allow me. After that, I will give the floor to Hungary. First, you want? Okay, Hungary first.
Thank you very much, Madam, and sorry for insisting on taking the floor again. I very much appreciate the flexibility of Algeria. I think we have detected the problem. The English and the French is not the same. The English says, remind states parties that the convention does not seek to establish, etc., whereas the French includes the word objective. And I think our Algerian colleague was working mainly on the French this time. Alors, je vais m'exprimer en français par la suite. Donc, je voudrais proposer que qu'on aligne le texte français sur l'anglais cette fois-ci. Rappelle aux États parties que la Convention ne cherche pas ou ne vise pas d'établir un système, etc. Ne vise pas ou peut-être ne vise pas sera plus éloquent. Merci, Madame.
Thank you, Hungary. This was exactly what the Secretariat wanted to explain. Thank you. So I'll give Mr. Curtis for the clarification.
Indeed, with apologies, the text was drafted originally in English. We do send them then to translators, and we sit down and do concordance checks, and occasionally we miss something. And I wonder if this is the issue. Indeed, the original text was not the objectives of the convention, but the convention doesn't seek to. Thank you.
So now, with this correction, is Algeria agreeable to keep the paragraph 8? Thank you.
Je vous remercie pour la tentative d'explication. Effectivement, en français, c'est encore plus criant qu'en anglais, mais l'explication reste la même, Madame la Présidente. Je suis désolé. Nous sommes en train de définir quelque chose par la négatif. Nous sommes en train de dire ce qu'il y a par ce qu'il n'y a pas. Et je suis désolé, mais on peut demander au legal advisor, mais avant d'en arriver là, je souhaiterais qu'on voit le 9 et le 10, voir les éléments qui sont repris du 8 au 9 et au 10, et par la suite, on pourra juger. Mais pour nous, aujourd'hui, dans le texte tel qu'il est libellé aujourd'hui, faire référence à la Convention et faire dire à la Convention ce qu'elle est ou ce qu'elle n'est pas par le comité n'est pas de notre mandat. Nous ne sommes pas à l'Assemblée générale et nous ne pouvons pas faire dire à la Convention ce qu'elle est ou ce qu'elle n'est pas. Toute référence à la Convention dans une décision comme ça établirait un précédent. Et tel est notre souci. Nous ne sommes pas contre et encore une fois, je le répète, nous sommes pour le nouveau paragraphe 9, nous sommes pour le nouveau paragraphe 10, et nous sommes pour l'esprit du 8, mais nous ne sommes pas pour une redéfinition de la Convention. Je vous remercie.
Okay, so let's take up the proposal made by Cyprus and let's consider 9 and 10, maybe in its entirety, or let's first suspend 8, go first 9, 10, and then come back to 8. Would that be agreeable to the committee members? I think so. Okay, so paragraph 9. Can I ask the co-sponsors maybe to explain the rationale behind it, to introduce the paragraph? Hungary would like to take the floor? Okay, Hungary.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Very briefly indeed, because I understand that we are towards the end of our morning session. I would like to go back to what our distinguished colleague from St. Lucia said this morning. This is indeed the spirit of this paragraph and of the rest of the paragraph, that this convention and the implementation of this convention and of the listing mechanism should contribute to peace, cooperation, and where possible healing regionally and even among nations, and that the intangible cultural heritage is indeed where cooperation and sharing of experience can prevail. The case of shared intangible cultural heritage is something that we could observe even today in many nominations, in multinational nominations, and in the welcoming of further extensions of already inscribed elements by certain states parties. And we would further encourage this procedure and this approach to the convention of nominating as much as possible shared intangible cultural heritage in the form of multinational nominations. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Hungary. I see Philippines asking for the floor.
Thank you, Chair. We'd like to add our name to paragraph 9, please. Thank you.
Thank you. St. Lucia, followed by Cyprus.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Hungary, for virtually eloquently saying what I had to say. Paragraph 8, in response to Algeria, I don't think we are trying to add an objective to the convention. I think we are doing something that we have been doing over and over, interpret the spirit of the convention. The spirit, and the word keeps coming up over and over again, the spirit of the convention, which is not actually written in exact words throughout, and which is not. We ourselves have to together cooperate, share wisdom, and interpret what is the spirit that we are trying to define from the words that we put down, and it will not be put down. And that, I think that is what paragraph 8 is doing, and I would support that it works in conjunction with all of these amendments, and I want to add St. Lucia's name to the sponsoring of 9 and 10 and 8 if it wasn't there before.
Thank you, St. Lucia. Cyprus, please.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Je crois que j'ai donné un rajout au paragraphe 9 au secrétariat, mais je ne le vois pas apparaître sur les écrans. J'ai rajouté à la fin, sur le territoire de plus d'un État partie, de rajouter et de soumettre des demandes d'inclusion aux éléments déjà inscrits. Je ne sais pas si la formulation elle est très correcte. Hein. Ça veut dire qu'un État membre il peut inclure un dossier déjà multinational, hein, qui pour moi est différent. Merci.
Thank you, Cyprus. I think our secretary would like to react to that. He will make a clarification on this, Mr. Curtis.
Certainly not to. I'm just to inform that mechanisms for joining multinational files do exist and cases have happened. So they do already exist. Thank you.
Cyprus?
Mais bien sûr, on le sait que ça existe. On veut les encourager d'autres États d'intégrer déjà l'inscription d'un dossier multinational. Je vais donner un exemple pour être plus clair. Il y a déjà la diète méditerranée qui est inscrite. Nous sommes 7 pays que déjà on a sur ce dossier. Si un autre pays vient intégrer ce dossier, qui peut le faire. C'est ça que je voulais un rajout sur ça, pour que ce soit plus clair.
Thank you, Cyprus. Afghanistan, followed by Austria, Algeria, Colombia, Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire. Afghanistan, please.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Je voudrais aussi rejoindre les propositions pour le 9 et le 10. Merci. Comme co-sponsor.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time. We will have the translation until 12:50, so we have still 10 minutes. I think after having this round of interventions, we will have to stop here for the morning session. So I now give the floor to Austria, followed by Algeria. Austria, you have the floor.
Thank you. We would also like to support the proposal under 9 by Hungary and others, and we think it is very good complementary to number 8, which we have discussed before. Thank you.
Thank you. I understand that there is a general support. Senegal would like to support as well? Otherwise, I will give the floor to Algeria, because Algeria was concerned with regard to para 8, 9, and 10. Would you like to co-sponsor, or do you have any different comments to make?
Yes, je veux vraiment appuyer, mais parce que simplement, il faut le dire très clairement, nos États africains n'ont que des frontières artificielles. Les cultures sont complètement transfrontalières et ça, il fallait quand même le dire. Nous devions être même peut-être avec ceux qui ont proposé ce paragraphe 9. Nous avons les frontières les plus artificielles au monde, dessinées à Berlin à l'époque. Voilà, ça c'est l'histoire. Aujourd'hui, nous nous reconnaissons dans une culture transfrontalière et pas dans de petits États confinés. Merci.
Thank you very much, Senegal. So I understand that there is a broad support from the committee members for the amendments proposed by the committee members of Hungary, Turkey, Bulgaria, Palestine, Cyprus. I just turn now to Algeria. If you can give us, how do you feel after all these amendments and discussions? Would you be agreeable to keep the para 8 and sponsor, or no, sorry. Oh, okay. 9. Sorry.
Oui, justement, Madame la Présidente, j'allais vous dire que pour l'instant, le 8 est suspendu, nous ne parlons que du 9 et du 10, et pour nous, nous souhaiterions nous ajouter à la liste des co-sponsors pour le 9 et le 10, qui nous semble prendre en charge toutes nos préoccupations.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's adopt 9 and 10 if there is no objection. Senegal, do you have any objection to that? Or okay, no objection, so we adopt paras 9 and 10. Adopted. And now we go back to para 8. Five more minutes. Okay. So again, I'll turn to Algeria. Algeria, would you like to still delete the paragraph?
Je suis désolé, Madame la Présidente, de m'accrocher à cette position, mais ce n'est pas de gaieté de cœur, honnêtement. Je pourrais vivre avec le paragraphe tel qu'il est libellé, mais sans la référence à la Convention.
Okay, thank you very much. The Secretariat wants to make an explanation. I will give the floor to Mr. Curtis.
It's not really an explanation, but I'd just like to draw attention to Article 3 of the Convention, relationship to other international instruments, particularly B. Nothing in this convention may be interpreted as affecting the rights and obligations of state parties deriving from any international instrument related to intellectual property rights or to the use of biological and ecological resources to which they are parties. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Curtis. I see Guatemala asking for the floor. Ambassador, you have the floor, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. Just briefly, obviously we support the proposal and the spirit of the proposal. I just heard that our colleague from Algeria said that he would not like to listen to any reference to the convention. I don't know if it could help to the works of this committee just to say, reminds state parties that the works of the committee do not seek to establish a system. I don't know if it agrees, if we don't refer to the convention, but if we refer to the works of the committee, is it okay for Algeria? I don't know.
Thank you, Ambassador. Algeria, you have the floor.
On remercie notre collègue du Guatemala et nous pensons que nous tenons quelque chose là qui pourrait éviter qu'on passe des heures sur ce paragraphe. Je souhaiterais juste un peu renforcer le langage qu'il nous a proposé. Rappel aux États membres, donc rappel aux États membres que les inscriptions sur les listes du patrimoine et le reste sans changement. Does not seek, establish, ne cherchent pas ou ne sont pas un système de propriété, etc., etc. Parce que ça, c'est la finalité. Mais on ne va pas à la Convention et lui faire dire ce qu'elle ne dit pas ou ce qu'elle dit. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much. I think we may be able to find a common ground here. Côte d'Ivoire was asking for the floor. You have the floor, ma'am.
C'est la Côte d'Ivoire ou le Sénégal, s'il vous plaît. La Côte d'Ivoire ou le Sénégal? Ah, d'accord. Ouais, l'interprète a dit Sénégal, en fait. Merci. OK. Merci, Madame la Présidente. J'ai l'impression que nous sommes un peu oubliés. À plusieurs fois, on a levé le chevalier, mais on n'a pas été interrogé. En fait, c'était pour dire que la Côte d'Ivoire soutenait tout ce qui a été dit au niveau de paragraphe 9, 10, et avec peut-être la proposition de l'Algérie, nous adhérons à... Nous souscrivons, voilà. Nous appuyons le paragraphe 8 également. Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Senegal, please. Thank you, Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal.
Ça me convient peut-être cette nouvelle proposition, mais je pose quand même une question. Est-ce que le comité, les États membres, dans leurs travaux, ne peuvent pas se référer à la Convention? Ce n'est pas peut-être une Bible, mais quand même c'est la Convention qui nous quitte dans nos réflexions et dans nos actions. Je peux comprendre ce que l'Algérie dit parfaitement pour ne pas faire dire à la Convention ce qu'elle n'a pas dit. Mais si nous voulons renforcer ce que la Convention a dit dans une décision, on peut référer à la Convention. Je crois. Je vous remercie.
Thank you, Senegal. I think after Philippines, we have to stop because we will not have any translation, and we will continue in the afternoon with Para 8. Philippines, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think we're very close, and with the new proposal of our distinguished colleague from Algeria, we can go along with this because I think that is, in fact, the purpose of the original 8. So we can go along with the compromise formulation. I think perhaps this could be adopted already.
Okay. Thank you, Philippines. Let's get back to this after lunch with the proposed amendments from Algeria. But I think before we close the morning session, the Secretariat wants to make an announcement. Mr. Curtis, you have the floor.
Thank you. Just to inform the floor that UNESCO is organizing an information session, this time in French, on strengthening capacities to safeguard intangible cultural heritage and contribute to sustainable development at 1:30 p.m. in Halle Hall. Also, delegations from Electoral Group 5A Africa have said they will meet at 1:30 p.m. in room 201A. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. The meeting is adjourned. We are meeting again promptly at 2:30 p.m. I wish all of you a pleasant lunch.